Anybody would like to sing? Hare Krishna. Come.
Okay.
Yuva. Who's you? Roja Mat. Okay. Who is the singer?
I'll sing, Mataji.
Okay, Mataji.
Okay. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhudale Srimadi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Idi Namini.
Everyone. Nama
Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namani.
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarini.
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Sri Go Mataji.
Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vranda.
Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda
Sri Advaita Gadahara Srivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
One more time.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama, Hare Hare.
Wonderful, Kalamataji. You are improving a lot.
Thank you,
Very
Mataji.
nice, Mataji. Yeah, very nice. Just the Jai Sri Krishna, this part here.
Okay.
Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Just take your time.
Okay.
Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Just take your deep breath in and out. Take your time. Then you'll
Okay,
get it.
Mataji. I'll practice. Thank you, Mataji.
Okay. Yeah, so I never had a chance in a long time to recap the pictures here. So who is in the middle?
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Okay, who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu?
Incarnation of Krishna
Incarnation of Krishna alone
and Radharani.
and Radharani. Krishna comes in the mood of Radharani. Okay, he comes in the mood of a devotee because Krishna was wondering, why this Radharani loves me so much? Why these devotees love me so much? How come they are deriving more pleasure than myself? Okay, so he's very curious. That's why he came as a devotee to relish the love that the devotees have for Krishna. See how amazing is that the Lord also cannot understand why the devotee loves me so much. And he is hankering for that. And that's why he came in the mood of Radharani. So that is why he is not blue or black. He came in a golden color. Whose color is golden? Radharani's color is golden. Radharani is golden in color. Krishna is blue, black, almost black, like that. So when Krishna comes, he always bring his koncho, he always bring his gang, all right? Because they all love to serve the Lord. So whenever the Lord comes, he always bring his paraphernalia, his associates. So the first associate he brought was Lord Balaram. The brother always comes with him because Adi says Lord Vishnu is inseparable. Every time they want to come, Lord Ram came with Lord Lakshman. Okay, so like that. And then we have Advaita Acharya. He is the combination of Mahavishnu and Lord Shiva. Okay, and it was Advaita Acharya was the one who got so frustrated, so sad, and very disappointed with how the material world was going. People were sinning everywhere. So he sat by the river Ganga and he was worshipping the Lord Saligram. Okay, and he prayed for the Lord, dear Lord, please come and save these people. They don't know what are they doing. So please come. In earlier past times, all the devas will go to the milk ocean and pray, right? Led by Lord Brahma. They will go and pray. Either Mother Earth will go or Lord Brahma will go. All the devas will go to Lord Brahma first, and then Lord Brahma will go to the Lord. Say, Lord, there's so much of atrocities happening on the earth. Can you please come down and straighten up things? So that's how the Lord will come. So this time, Advaita Acharya called and the Lord came. Okay. And this is Narada Muni's incarnation, Srivas Thakur. So it is mentioned in the scriptures that the Lord, this time he brought Sankirtana. Yeah, he was not going around and killing everybody. I mean, not everybody, the demons. Okay, so he came to change the heart of people. He did not kill people, but he came to change the heart of people through what? How he came to change the heart of the people? Through what, Yashoda Priya Mataji?
By knowledge.
No.
Kirtan, by kirtan.
Sankirtan, Harinam Sankirtan. Sankirtan means singing and dancing in group, loud chanting. Okay, right? He came to do that, and then they will have. Although they go on the street, they will sing loudly and chant loudly, like how you all see on the Radha Yatra. This is all replica of what Mahaprabhu was doing a long time ago, 500 years ago. But there are some times that he gathered with his very secretive associates, and they do their maximum sankirtan in closed door, behind closed door, because there they will exhibit all the highest love of the Lord, and not everybody can be allowed to see that, to experience that. And that will happen in Srivas Angan, Srivas Thakur's house called Srivas Angan. So that is the place where all the closest associates of Mahaprabhu will gather and they will do the ultimate kirtans. Okay. And this is Gadadhar Pandit. He is the incarnation of Srimati Radharani and Lalita Sakhi. So you can always refer, there's always a representative of a personality, the associate. Okay, so this is a prayer to invoke their blessings. And then of course, Maha Mantra. Nothing is perfect without the Maha Mantra. Okay. So this is Sri Sri Gauranitai from ISKCON Ujjain, India. Okay. Sri Sri Radha Madana Mohan also from Ujjain. This is Sri Krishna Balarama. Okay, Jai. They are so beautiful. So we have 3 deities here. So they're always accompanied by Lalita and Vishaka. Okay. Mom Ishtapadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vitna Vinashna Shrimhaiti Namini. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnapadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, so the introductory slide. Okay, so it's recording. Okay.
Name of Gita.
Okay, who would like to go first? Jai Mataji.
The destination is called Sanatana sky, the eternal spiritual sky. Yat Gatvana Nivartante Tatdamang Pramam Mama. In this material world, we find that everything is temporary. It comes into being strong for some time, produce some byproducts, develops, and then vanishes. That is the law of the material world, whether we use as an example of this body or piece of fruit or anything. But beyond this temporary world, there is another world which we have information. That world consists of another nature, which is Sanatana, eternal. The Jiva is also described as Sanatana, eternal, and the Lord is also described as Sanatana in the 11th chapter. We have intimate relationship with Lord, and because we are qualitatively want the Sanatana Dhamma or sky, the Sanatana Supreme Personality, and the Sanatana living entities. The whole purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to revive our Sanatana occupation or Sanatana Dhamma, which is eternal occupation of living entity. We are temporarily engaged in different activities, but all of these activities can be purified when we give up all these temporary activities and take up the activities which are prescribed by the Supreme Lord. This is called a pure life.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. Okay, so oftentimes we are trapped. We are trapped in the small definition of Hinduism. So it is not Hinduism technically. It is Sanatana, eternal. There is no beginning of our faith. There is no beginning for that. Okay, and just like the Jiva is also eternal because the Supreme Soul is also eternal. Okay, and then the last point here is very important here. We are here to revive the relationship with the Lord. We are here to revive our original occupation. So right now, I could be an auditor, somebody could be a teacher, somebody could be an IT expert. So this is all your material occupation that you are engaged in based on your modes of material nature, based on your nature. All right. But We will never find the ultimate satisfaction until we awaken or we are engaged in our eternal occupation, the actual occupation. So what is our actual occupation? Actual occupation.
Service to the Lord.
Yes, service to the Lord. Until and unless we serve the Lord, we will not find the ultimate satisfaction. So that is what the Sanatana Dharma is preaching. Okay, so who remembers the section of Bhagavad Gita? The 3 sections of Bhagavad Gita.
Oh, yeah. Bhakti.
You're gonna eat the burger again.
I think Bhakti, what the work? About Bhakti, I know.
By chapter 18, all expert already to describe overview of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, Kala Mataji. Can you explain whatever that you can remember? What do you understand looking at the sandwich here, the burger here? Mataji not there? Guna Mataji? What is your understanding so far? When somebody asks about overview of Bhagavad Gita. So we have very few people here, so it will be nice if everybody can speak fast and we can finish. Roja Mataji?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. What is your understanding on the overview of Bhagavad Gita?
The 3 sections, as I understand, is Karma Yoga,
Mm-hmm.
and then Bhakti Yoga,
Mm-hmm.
and the last one, Jnana Yoga.
Okay, very good. Nice, Mataji. So how do we relate this, Jai Mataji? How do we relate these 3 sections? What is our aim? What are we trying to achieve? So I'm
True.
narrowing down.
True works.
Yeah, what are we trying to achieve?
Division service.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to ask everybody to open the video, then I know who's at the other side. Now I don't know who is there.
I'm here, Mataji, but still thinking.
Okay. Okay, let me give a clue. Huh?
Oh, I forgot.
So we are trying to achieve bhakti, all right?
True work.
There are various ways that Krishna is teaching throughout the Bhagavad Gita. So the first one, Yashoda Priya Mataji already said, through work. What is work? What yoga is that? When we say work, what yoga is that?
Bhakti Yoga, is it?
No, bhakti means devotion. Work means, what are the first few chapters? It's about work for Krishna, surrender the result, work for charity, and donate the result. You work, but you're not attached to the result. What are all these? What is this yoga?
Involved in Krishna's consciousness.
Work in Krishna consciousness. Yes, but what yoga is that?
Karma Yoga, is it?
Yes, karma yoga. You answered that, Oja Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. So this is karma yoga. You can achieve bhakti through work, through karma. Okay, always remember, the first section is about karma. What is the last one? Why are we talking about knowledge? What the knowledge is supposed to, okay, the second section is bhakti. The bhakti, the topics about bhakti, Krishna has hidden inside in between. Okay, so Jnana Yoga. What are we trying to achieve here? What is that first step? Through Jnana Yoga, remember, many people might not take up bhakti immediately. All right?
Detachment from Maya.
Yes, detachment from Maya.
And,
After you detach yourself from something, what do? Do you sit quietly? Inactive?
Attachment to Krishna.
Hmm.
Do division service.
Hold on, let me set this up. Okay, attachment to Krishna. Okay, so that is how you do devotional service, because you have to have that attachment. Okay. Okay, so
The third one.
we are actually, this panel is disturbing me. Hold on. Okay.
In division service. Divisional service.
Okay, we are using this knowledge to attain devotion. Okay. So what did we learn last week, chapter 14? Do you remember any charts? What was the topic?
Three mood of material nature.
Okay.
Passion, goodness, passion, and inherent.
Very good. Who can recall what is the symptoms or characteristics of goodness? How does it bind us? So goodness, you know, people like lecturers, teachers, brahmanas, they are into cultivating knowledge. So ultimately we think that generally we'll think, oh, I'm fine, comfortable. I don't engage in abominable things. I don't do sinful activities. Then what is the problem with people in the mode of goodness? What is the binding factor to the material world? There are two things, right? We need to recognize this so that we can come out of it. Remember?
Two kinds of goodness, I mean,
No, see, people who are in the mood of goodness, they cannot be complacent saying that, okay, I'm fine, I'm doing everything good, I'm happy, I'm complacent, all right, I'm comfortable, so I don't have to think about anything else. But there's two factors that can bind them to this material. What is it? What is that binding force? You don't get the right term, but you can use any vocab that you can come up with. We need to understand it.
Happiness, is it?
Yes. Come on.
Distress. Envy.
No, not envy.
You
don't have to.
Sense gratification.
Okay, all the modes have sense gratification. Okay, but what is the binding factor? One who is having knowledge, right? What is their perception of people around them? They feel superior, right? Okay, so that is a binding factor. They feel happy. They feel satisfied. So because they have all this knowledge, they feel they are all right. No, they feel they are all right. Life is perfect. This is what they think. But this is actually the binding force for people who are under the mode of goodness to remain bonded in this material world. However, no matter what, nevertheless, they are pious people. Okay, but this is where we have to pay attention. What is the binding force here? So we need to evaluate ourselves. Are we succumbing to this binding force? If yes, then that is the reason why we are still here. All right, we can be professors life after life after life after life. Why are we still here? Why aren't we breaking free? Because we are happy, we are satisfied, we think we are superior. We are going to come back again and again and again until we break the chain free. Okay, so this is, I explained already for goodness. Now let's try to come up with a recap on the passion. What do you think of passion? People in the mode of passion. Whatever you can remember from the last class. What you can remember from the last class on passion?
Fruitive activities.
Okay, very good. They are engaged in fruitive activities. What else they do?
Great attachment.
Okay, great attachment. Very good. That is an important keyword. Another one.
Desire.
Yes, these are the two main key points. Okay, and then attachment. Okay, desire, attachment. They are very much involved in fruitive activities. What do they end up having? Can you think of something? What they end up having when they work so hard? At the end, what is the balance for them? What remains there for them? It starts with M.
Sorry?
Sorry?
Results, is it, Mataji?
Yes, yes. What is the result?
Okay. Miseries, is it?
Yeah, miseries. Okay, let's put that out. Huh? Okay. Guna Mataji, can you read for us all the three boxes?
Krishna. Sorry, Masaji, I forgot my specs.
Okay, no problem. Roja Mataji, can you read for us?
Yeah, sure. Modes, goodness, the characteristics, knowledge, no sinful reactions, binding force, sense of happiness, satisfaction, knowledge, superiority. Results, pious.
Okay, passion
Modes of
Mataji.
passion, passion, intense, unlimited desires and longings, great attachment, fruitive activities, binding force, attachment to fruitive activities, ropes of desire and attachment, results, miseries.
Okay, so now we are the last one, ignorance. This is a recap from chapter 14. Huh? Okay, ignorance. What can you think of about people who are under the mode of ignorance?
Lazy,
Okay, very good.
sleeping, always
Very
sleep.
good.
Darkness,
Sorry? Sorry, Mataji.
Restless is the same.
darkness, Mataji.
Darkness, yes.
Darkness.
Okay, that's good. All right. So what is the binding force? Actually, you can repeat the same words, all right? Laziness, madness, sleeping. So what is the result? What is the result of people who are under the mode of ignorance? What do they always end up as? Or what do they get?
Foolishness.
Yes, foolishness. Very good, Mataji. Okay, so there you go. We need to identify these symptoms, all right? And we want to find out what is actually the problem with these three modes. And then we want to know what is the result. So if you know all of this, then you will find the reason to be very strong for us to get out of this material world. This is the strong motivation for us to get out. So I think we should have this chart printed out and stick somewhere. So when you're feeling so relaxed and happy, you're in the mode of goodness, then you have to remember this. Oh, okay, I should not let these qualities overwhelm me. So I need to be grounded. And then if you feel that you have some, intense desire or something, then we need to know that, oh, if I fulfill this, I'm going to get attached to these activities, and it's going to go on and on and on, because when lust is satisfied, it results in greed. If lust is not satisfied, it will result in anger. So either way, the damage is to us because it will bring us miseries. All right. So of course, pretty much we are avoiding all this, but in the event that we are inclined, there is some inclination towards this area, right, ignorance, then we need to snap out of it. We have to come. So most of the time we are here. This is what we need to remember. We are here. Okay, so you have to be very careful that we don't fall down here, and we always have to go up here. Okay, right. So next. So remember the story. Why do we need to know these three modes, the effect, the binding force, the result? Why? Because one wrong desire we have in our life this time, next birth, we don't know how the desire will be fulfilled, in what form, what color, what shape, we'll never know. All right. Like this, the fish inside this aquarium, he wanted to have a ride on Rolls Royce in his next life. Okay, so we don't know what was he in the previous life, but now he is technically getting a ride on Rolls Royce, but he's not able to enjoy it in a human form. He's a fish. He's trapped in the body of fish. So we want to be very careful on that. Okay. All right. So this is another recap from chapter 14, because we are going to link it to chapter 15. Okay, so look at this verse. Yeah, here Krishna will say, I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman. So who remembers what is Brahman? What did we learn last week? What are the terms?
Impersonal Brahman. Then Brahma and Bhagawan.
Okay, so those are the three aspects of the Lord. All right. Now, when I ask about Brahman, what is Brahman? What can you remember? What are the terms that you can use?
Meditate.
That is the process to attain Brahman. But what is Brahman? Like somebody can define me, what is Brahman? Or give me a synonym. Is it Lord Brahma?
No.
Okay,
think-
Jai Mataji.
Everyone can be Brahman, but not.
Okay, we are small Brahmans. Okay,
Mm.
Krishna is the supreme Brahman. Now, what I want to understand is Krishna is saying here in the last verse in chapter 14, I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman. So I'm asking here, what is this Brahman?
Is it the truth? Absolute truth.
Okay. What is the what are the terms? What else, Mataji? So there are three aspects of the Supreme Lord. What is the first aspect of the Supreme Lord? Remember the train story? What was the first thing that the first person saw about the
The
train?
light. To see the light.
Yeah. So now can you link the light and Brahman now?
The light, the Brahma Jyoti mean from.
Yes, Brahma Jyoti. This is the term that I want to come up, bring it out.
Yeah. Then meditate, then can see, go to bright, the light, can you see?
Okay. What does Krishna mean that I am the basis of this Brahma Jyoti? What does he mean by that? The light, the Brahma Jyoti is coming from?
From the effulgence of.
Yeah, the
body
Brahma
of
Jyoti is effulgence light, just like how we switch on the light, there is this bulb, the bulb emits that light. So that light is Brahma Jyoti and the bulb is Krishna. So this is why Krishna is saying, I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman. Okay, we are still on the recap. We haven't entered chapter 15. Okay, so why are we talking about this Brahman here? Because in chapter 14, why is not moving? Okay, Krishna says one who engages in full devotional service, unfailing, all right, will come to the level of Brahman. Oh, okay. So what is this Brahman? That's where Krishna explains that he is the basis of the Brahman. So that means it is him. Okay, surrendering to him, engaging in devotional service will bring us back to him. Okay, that is the point, right? Devotion for Krishna. Okay, to attain devotion and attachment to Krishna, one needs to also develop detachment from this material world. So always remember, you have to get detached from something, attached to Krishna, and that way your devotion for Krishna will increase. Okay, so if we do devotional service, then what about the Vedas? Why Krishna gave Vedas then? So this is the goal of this chapter. Why? What is the goal of the Vedas? Okay, can somebody read this introductory paragraph?
I read, nah?
Yeah,
Okay.
ma'am.
Hare Krishna. The yoga of the Supreme Person. The ultimate purpose of Vedic knowledge is to detach oneself from the entanglement of the material world and to understand Lord Krishna as the
Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who understands Krishna's supreme identity, surrender unto him, and engage in his divisional service.
Okay, so this is a concept that we want to understand. What about the Vedas? Okay, the ultimate purpose of the Vedic knowledge is to detach oneself from this material world, understand who is the Supreme Lord. Okay, and the one who understands the Supreme Lord ultimately surrenders unto him and engages in his devotional service. Okay, this is the concept. All right. Okay, so this chapter 15 is about the process of breaking the attachment. This chapter is all about how to get detached. How do we detach ourselves? Okay, so here in this chapter, Krishna will talk about how this material world is a banyan tree. Okay, he will compare the world to a banyan tree. Okay, so this banyan tree is our tree of attachment. And then he will say how to cut the tree. It's with detachment. All right, so after that, he will talk about the yoga of the Supreme Person. Who is he? He will talk a bit more on about himself. Okay, so who can read the translation? I will read the Sanskrit. Udvamulam madaha sakam asvatam prahur avyayam chandamsi yasya parnani yastam veda sa vedavid.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, it is said that there is an imperishable banyan tree that has its roots upward and its branches down, and whose leaves are the Vedic hymns. One who knows this tree is the knower of the Vedas.
Okay, so Krishna here is describing this material world is like a banyan tree. Okay, but before that, he is comparing the tree in spiritual world. He says, okay, here on the earth, we have a banyan tree, like roots down, trunk, and then branches, and then leaves, right? But Krishna says, in the spiritual world, there is a downward tree, inverted tree. Okay, so this material world is like a reflection, a flipped reflection of the spiritual world. Whatever is going up here is actually going down in spiritual world. Okay, so we will see that. All right. So the material world is like a banyan tree, and this is how Krishna is wants us to visualize. Okay, so let's visualize it that way. The root is up, and then the branch is going down. Okay, so this is the concept of reflection tree. Okay, Krishna says the real tree in the spiritual world is like this. The root is up, and then the leaves all will go down like that. Okay, so what we have in this material world, what we are in material world, or rather how the material world is, the spiritual world terbalik. Okay, flipped. Okay, why it's flipped? Because just like this original tree, the original tree on the earth, it is being reflected in the river. Okay, as a reflection. Okay, the one in the spiritual world is reflected here as a desire. Okay, the tree in the spiritual, okay, the process in the spiritual world is like you have to go upward, go to the origins. The origin is always the root, right? So imagine the root is coming from the spiritual world. We are trying to go to the root, okay, to find our creator, to find the person who we originated from. But what happens is that in this material world, we are going deeper and deeper and deeper. The root is going into the land, into the ground. It's getting stuck inside. So it's really flipped version. Okay, understand or not? So we need to have the transcendental desire, not the material desire that we have in this material world. We have to have this transcendental desire to enter into the spiritual world. Okay, so you probably will be able to visualize better if I show this one. Okay, but okay, before that, I have to explain what are the parts in this tree. Okay, so we are not actually exactly looking at a tree, yeah. So we are looking at this material world. Okay, it's just a symbol to represent the material world. So let's start with the leaves. Okay, leaves usually the beautiful part, the most beautiful part of the tree. Okay, so what are the leaves represent? These are the Vedic hymns, all these mantras in the Vedic books. Okay, so the mantras in Vedas, they are actually to guide us to achieve whatever we like in a regulated way. But ultimately, it's actually telling us to detach ourselves from the material world. But what happened is that the nature of the human is that the more and more his desires is satisfied, he gets more and more entangled in that. He wants more and more. He wants to achieve his desire, achieve what he wants, satisfy his desires more and more. So when he does that, he's always not going back to the spiritual world. He's always traveling from planet to planet, species to species. So that is represented by the branches. Okay, the branches are planets with different species. So based on your karmic reactions, we are going to jump up and down, up and down, up and down, sideways, you know. So we always be there only. So we are not going up anywhere. All right. So how do we satisfy our, how do we achieve our desire? We use our senses. So the twigs here represent the sense objects because this is where the working senses are. This is where they acquire the knowledge. So this is where you bring in your chapter 13 knowledge. Okay, why sense objects? Because you see, you hear, you smell, you taste. This is how you enjoy the world, isn't it? Okay, not having one eye also, you can't relish something maximum. Okay, you can't maximize your enjoyment. So that's why the twigs are like the sense objects. You are getting your you're perceiving the external world through your senses. Okay, so when we are engaged in activities, what are we getting in return? What do we get in return when we engage in activities?
Our fruitive result.
We get results. So which part of the tree you think is the result? Kala Mataji?
Leaves, is it, Mataji?
Leaves done already. Leaves are the Vedic hymns.
Okay.
Okay, so we have the activities. So when we do activities, what do we get? Like Ashwada Priya Mataji say, result, we get results. So which part of this tree represent the result? What do we ultimately want from tree?
Fruits.
Fruit.
Yes, fruits. Okay, these are the result of activities. Okay, so like I said, the roots supposed to go upward to the spiritual world, to the originator, to the creator. But what happens to the material world is that the human is engaged in all these activities, Vedic, going up and down, you know, transmigrating among the different species and bodies, and then very busy satisfying his senses, very busy enjoying the fruits. So the more and more the root is going down deeper and deeper to the ground. It's like endless. You cannot find where is the root is going to end because there is no end to human desires. Who's from economy here? In economy, there is one definition. What is economy? The definition of economy is utilizing the limited resources to meet the demands, the unlimited demands of human. The material knowledge book itself already declared that the humans' wants are unlimited. So the economy is about how you're utilizing these limited resources to fulfill the unlimited needs or demands of human. So you can see the root is so deep, deep, deep inside and don't know where it's ending. So if it keeps going on and on and on and like that, what's going to happen? Okay, we're going to be so rooted in this material world. Okay. All right. So let's look at the tree that Krishna described, the one inverted. So look at this one. Let's go from down. Okay. Look at this leaf. But can you imagine? This is the tree. The root is up here. The branch is going down, 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 down. The leaves all are here. Okay. So let's begin from down here. Yeah? You can see what animals can you see here? You have tortoise here. You have like creeping animals. Okay. So usually the creepers, right? The creeping animal, the crawling animal, they are the lower category animals. So those are the lowest species. Okay, as you go a little high, you get the body of tiger, cow, human. You all can see or not? This one here. See here. This is, you have pious acts here. So as you engage in pious acts, you will go up this tree. You have Vedic hymns here, you have economic development here, you have religiosity here, but you also have sense gratification and you have impious acts. This is like a snake and ladder. If you do pious act, you go up like that. But if you're engaged in sense gratification and sinful activity, then you go down. Can you see this? Impious acts. So this is like snake and ladder. So you have to remember that, okay? And then these people here killing, right? Murdering somebody. And this is Vedic hymns, means I think they are doing some yagya here. And this person is praying. So this is represented by religiosity. So as you go up, the life gets better. The species is better here. You get human birth. And then you become devas here. So this part here, you get liberation. Okay, this is Lord Ganesh. All the devas are here. This is Surya Dev. This is Lord Indra. He's on white elephant. Okay, this is Narada Muni. So you get liberated here. Finally, you will see the root of the creation. Who is this root of creation? Can see who is sitting at the root here? Anybody here?
Brahma, Lord Brahma.
That Brahma, he is the creator of this living entity. So he's here. But is it the end of it? If you go further, you will see the Supreme Lord with his consort, Radharani, Krishna and Radharani. So this is how it looks like. Okay, this is the inverted tree that Krishna is saying, the imperishable banyan tree in spiritual world. So this is actually the spiritual world. Okay, this is how the world looks like. Okay, and we are here like this. Okay, so we need to flip our goal. We don't want our roots to go down deeper, deeper, deeper into the ground. We want to reach the root in the spiritual world. We want to go back to the origin. Okay, so there is a way to do that. Okay, so before that, let's see how we are actually, how the tree of our material world is flourishing. Okay, Jay, who can read? Kala Mataji.
Okay, Mataji.
Yeah.
Nourishment of the tree. As a tree is nourished by water, so this tree is nourished by the three modes of material nature. Sometimes we find that a tract of land in barren for one of sufficient water, and sometimes a tract is very green. Similarly, where particular modes of material nature are proportionately greater in quantity, the different species of life are manifested accordingly.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, so how the branches, right? The branches, right? If you remember this, these branches, right? It has to thrive on water. Okay, for trees, you have to pour water. So how are we thriving? Our material world. Okay, that is literally a tree. How do you nourish a tree? By pouring water. Okay, so the branch will grow beautifully, unlimited. All right. How are we thriving? How are we feeding our activities? Guna Mataji. Based on this paragraph, how are we feeding our activities? Guna Mataji.
Three modes of material nature.
Yes, correct, Mataji. So this tree, right, this material world is nourished by the three modes of material nature, which we learned in previous chapters. So all those activities, different activities in goodness, passion, and ignorance. Okay, so where we feed more, okay, if you are feeding yourself to the mode of goodness, okay, you will get a goodness kind of species of life. But if you're ignorant, then you will fall back to the animal kingdom. So that is why it is say here, where particular modes of material nature is proportionally greater in quantity, that means where it's more dominant. Are you dominant in terms of goodness, mode of goodness, or you're dominant in the mode of passion or ignorant? So accordingly, you will be given the next body. So this is another angle that you can see. Okay, so you will know exactly what kind of activity that you need to be engaged in. All right, interesting, right? So this is all about how trees get nourishment. Okay, again, normal trees, you feed them water. Okay, but the material trees like us, right? The material world It's fed by mode of nature, right? Based on the modes acquired, based on our modes, we are given certain types of bodies to enjoy. Okay, so as and when we get these facilities, we are like the bird jumping, flying from tree to tree, enjoying the, why the birds jumping here and there, flying in the tree? What do they want? What are they looking for?
Looking for food, for fruit.
Fruit, yes. So what exactly these fruit that we are looking for? That one also the Vedas have already categorized. It's called Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. Okay, that one I will go one by one, okay? All right, so this one. These are the 4 fruits that we all are looking for. We are looking for security. It could be wealth, could be anything. We are looking for pleasure, Kama. We are looking for Dharma, righteousness. We are looking for, ultimately everybody wants what people want ultimately. What do we want? What generally people want? They're so tired of life. What do they want?
Moksha.
Moksha. They want moksha. I'm so tired already. Okay, one moksha. So actually, it's not like that. It's like gradual increase. You are engaged in activities, but the Vedas supposed to take you up gradually to the level of moksha, liberation. But even liberation is said here to be a desire. Okay, to achieve liberation is also a desire. So you'll never be free of desire. Wanting a liberation is also a desire. Okay, so the best part is to look out, to search out of the origin of the tree. Otherwise, there is another way. Okay, so the idea is to use the Vedas to elevate ourselves to a higher and higher platform. But in that process, what happens? We become entangled in the branches. Oh, this is nice. If I do this, I get this. Oh, this is nice. If I do this, I get it. Then you take a left turn, right turn, corner here, corner there. Then you stuck in a maze. Okay, we are not finding the way out. Okay, so that's why the roots go deeper and deeper and deeper. We are stuck like birds looking for the fruits or on the branches. So understand, that is the concept that we are in now. Okay, we are entangled in the complexities. The more and more plans we make, we are getting more and more bonded there. Okay. So we need to cut down this strongly rooted tree. So how do we cut down?
By knowledge.
So how do you cut down a tree? How do you cut down a tree?
Surrender unto Krishna lotus feet.
No, how do we cut down a tree? Pokok, how do we cut down a pokok?
Use axe.
Oh, use the axe. So axe tak sharp how, Mataji? Okay, so the axe is detachment. Because ultimately the material, the tree of this material world all thriving on attachment, right? Okay, so now this axe is not sharp. What can we do? How to sharpen this axe? The material, literally the axe, you use a sharpener to sharp or whichever way. So how are we going to sharpen our detachment?
Our detachment. By knowledge.
Yes, clever, Mataji. Sharpen with knowledge. What kind of knowledge?
Transcendental knowledge.
Very good. Transcendental knowledge. Chapter 4. What are the example of knowledge? Where can we get the knowledge?
From the Vedas. And scripture.
But the Vedas are being misused to enjoy the material world. The Vedas are there to guide us to elevate. Remember what I mentioned earlier? They're supposed to bring you up. But what happens? We are attracted with the fruits that the Vedic hymns are giving. So we are like birds. I want to enjoy Artha. I want to enjoy Kama, Moksha. Not Moksha. Dharma, Artha, Kama. Then you find it nice. Oh, let me do again. Let me do again. Let me do again. If you do again and again and again, you will never find the root. We are always stuck around the branches. So, okay, so we cannot use Vedas. So we have to use an axe. That axe is detachment, and we have to sharpen with knowledge. So where is the knowledge we're going to get from? We can't get from Vedas because the Veda is supposed to use for that. But seems like we can't. Or
From
people can't.
associate with devotees.
Scriptures. Okay. Bhagavad
Scripture.
Gita. Okay. So yes, we can always go back to the Vedas and we take it as it is. Okay. Not to fulfill our desires. If not, our root's going to get so deep into the ground. Okay. So are we going to enjoy the reflection, or are we going to go back and enjoy the real thing? That is the option. That is the choice that we need to make. Okay. The sharper the axe, the easier to cut the tree. The sharper our knowledge, the easier we can get detached. Okay, how long are we going to enjoy just the reflection of that original tree, the imperishable banyan tree? So we need to cut it down. All right. So that is the axe of detachment. This is the point. Okay. So it's just like you want a reflection of money or you want the real money. Okay. So if you want the real money, then you cannot enjoy the reflection. You need to cut down the reflection. You have to leave the reflection. Okay, so we shouldn't be blinded by the temporary nature of the material world. So when we understand this concept, okay, when we understand this concept that we want the real tree, not the reflection, then we will know what is the great need for us to cut down this tree. Okay, how to get out? Axe. All right, so let's have somebody to read this. Everybody read already? Jay Mataji, back to you.
Ishwar Mataji. The real form of this tree cannot be perceived in this world. No one can understand where it ends, where it begins, or where its foundation is. But with the determination, one must cut down a strongly rooted tree with the weapon of detachment. Thereafter, one must seek that place from which, having gone, one never returns, and there surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, from whom everything began and from whom everything has extended since time immemorial.
Okay, immemorial, yes. Okay, beginningless. So here, as we already explained, we are going to cut down the strongly rooted tree with the weapon of detachment. So once we cut, we sit quiet. Is it? No. Okay, we want to go back to the place where we can find the real money. Okay, not the reflection money. And we want to go there because that's where everything came from. Okay, so later we will see how big is this place. Okay. Okay, becoming detached from the material world. So we need to cut down the strongly rooted tree with weapon of detachment. Okay, so now. Okay, right. So this is the journey. The journey is, Krishna says, I am the origin of everything. Therefore, to get out of the entanglement of the strong banyan tree of material life, one must surrender to Krishna. As soon as one surrenders unto Krishna, one becomes detached automatically from this material extension. Thus, you will have attachment to spiritual world. So this is the importance of understanding the source. Who can read first, please? Somebody, please read. We need to find the cause.
Understanding the source. Yet one has to find out the cause. I am the son of my father. My father is the son of such and such a person, etc. But in this way, one comes who is generated by the Garbhoda Kashaya Vishnu. Finally, in this way, when one reaches the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is the end of research work. One has to search out that origin. The Supreme Personality of Godhead through the association of persons who are in knowledge of that Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then ascending one becomes gradually detached from this false reflection of reality. And by knowledge, one can cut off the connection and actually become situated in the real tree.
Yeah, so this is the tree. So we want to go back to the real tree. Okay, if you check who is our great grandfather, great grandfather is like that, we'll ultimately go to Lord Brahma. So this is how, right? So we have to go up and find our root. That's why they always say find your root. So that is the root. Okay, so this is a story of Lord Brahma and Lord Krishna. So one day, Lord Brahma went to see Krishna. Okay, so at that point of time, Lord Brahma was thinking that he's very great because he's created things, right? So he went to see Lord Brahma, Lord Krishna in Dwaraka. So when he went, the guard came. Yes, can I help you? Then Lord Brahma said, please inform Krishna that I have come. Lord Brahma have come. So the guard will go to Lord Krishna and say, my dear Lord, Lord Brahma has come. Then then Lord Krishna will ask, which Brahma? So like that, the guard will come and pass the message to Lord Brahma. Lord Krishna asked, which Brahma? Then the Brahma was like, so weird. It felt so weird. Why Lord Krishna asked like that? Go, please tell him that the four-headed Brahma is here. I'm the Brahma with the forehead. Please tell him I am here. So like that, the guard will go and pass the message, and Krishna will say, okay, let him in. So when Lord Krishna sees Lord Brahma, and Lord Brahma, of course, he paid obeisance and glorifications. So Krishna will ask, yes, Lord, yes, Brahma, why you are here? What can I do for you? Then Lord Brahma will say, I will answer that in a while. But before that, I'm very curious to know, why did you ask which Brahma? Is there other Brahma other than me? Is there any other Brahma apart from me? Then what the Lord did, he will summon Brahmas from all the universes, and all of them came. So you can see from the picture here, some have so many Brahmas, is basically because it corresponds with the size of the universe that they are maintaining. Okay, so there is millions headed Brahmas also. Okay, so when Lord Brahma's, cut the long story short, Lord Brahma will be very bewildered to see that other Brahmas are there with more number of heads. So Lord Krishna, after that, after they all disperse, then Lord Krishna will explain to Lord Brahma, okay, your particular universe extends 4 billion miles. Therefore, it is the smallest of the universe. The universe that we are in currently is the smallest. So that's why Lord Brahma with 4 heads is sufficient to maintain. Okay. But some of the universes, they are 1 billion yojanas. Ours is 4 billion miles. And yojanas is much bigger. So 1 billion yojanas, some 1 trillion, some 10 trillion, some 100 trillion. So there are more coverage, okay, for the Lord Brahmas. So they'll have more heads. So according to the size of the universe, there are so many heads on the body of Brahma. Okay, so in this way, Krishna say, I maintain innumerable number of Brahmandas, unlimited number of universes. Nobody can measure. So if you can't measure even the one universe, one tiny universe in the entire material creation can extend to so much. Can you imagine this whole thing you put together is just 1/4, and I have another 3/4 of creation, spiritual world. So you can imagine how my spiritual is much bigger than that 1/4 of this material creation. So this is just to give you a glimpse how huge the spiritual world is compared to this material world we are here. Okay, in this tiny universe, the tiniest universe, and in the tiny planet, this tiny house, at this tiny table. So we are so small. Okay, and then we think that this is where we belong. All right, so we need to come out of it. And then this is a very beautiful picture. Krishna will, this is a description about the spiritual world. Again, we continue that. Who can read for us? Beyond the
Mataji,
Yeah.
Dakshila want to read.
Hey, can. Come, Darshita.
Beyond the river Viraja is a spiritual nature which is indestructible, eternal, inexhaustible, and unlimited. It is the supreme abode consisting of three-fourths of the Lord's opulences. It is known as Paravyoma, the spiritual sky. Story from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 21.
Okay, thank you, Darshita. Very good. So stay there. I will call you again. Is that okay? Okay. So see this word, river Viraja. Okay. Now I'm going to take you to river Viraja in a while. Okay. So before that, Krishna says, the story says the beyond the river Viraja is a spiritual nature. The Viraja river is here. Okay. So beyond this is all material world. This entire thing. Okay, you can see my cursor, right? This is one universe, one big egg. We are going to zoom. This is our universe. Okay. So similarly, there are so many other universes. You look at this small bubbles. So many bubbles come out from Karanada Kasai Vishnu. Okay, I hope you all remember the sequence. Karanada Kasai Vishnu. And who enters into this each universe? Garbhoda Kasai Vishnu. From his navel come the lotus. That's where Lord Brahma sits. Okay, so this one we covered earlier already. So now we're going to go further up outside of our universe. So when we go up, okay, this is the picture, right? This is where I'm going to zoom here. Okay, just below the Brahma Jyoti. Can you see the Brahma Jyoti here? This is the blue thing. This Karana ocean is the Viraja river. Okay, Karana ocean, Viraja river, causal ocean. Okay, when Lord Vamana pierces this universe, the water rushes in as Mother Ganga. This is the water. Okay, he pierced through this border here. The water rushed through and fell on Lord Shiva's head and came out as Mother Ganga. Okay, this is the river. So can see the picture now. It's a very high definition picture. I can share the link in the group. You can zoom and see. Okay. All right. So this is the Brahma Jyoti. The Jyoti is coming from Krishna's body. Can you see the ray of light here? All right. Okay. So if you stay until end of the class, I will take this picture here and I will zoom and I will take you from here to here. Okay. Let's see what time we finish the class. Okay. So this is the glorification of the spiritual world by Lord Brahma, because Lord Brahma is the personal witness of everything that Krishna has done. So previously, of course, when Lord Brahma came out from Krishna, from the Garbhoda Kasai Vishnu, of course, he had the knowledge, but sometimes even devas can be bewildered. All right, they start doubting Krishna. So every time Krishna has to do something to bring back their memory. Okay, so like that, Lord Brahma will give a nice prayer. So there are total of 4 prayers where Lord Brahma will speak about the spiritual world. Okay, for example, I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, residing in his own realm, Goloka and Radha, resembling his own spiritual figure, an embodiment of the ecstatic potency possessed of the 64 artistic activities in the company of her confidants, embodiment of the extension of a bodily form permeated and vitalized by his ever blissful spiritual rasa. Okay, if you go further to text 43, he explains further. Lowest of all is located Devi Dhamma. That means this material world. Okay, this is the lowest. Next, above it, Mahesha Dhamma. Mahesha Dhamma is Lord Shiva's Dham. Above Mahesha Dhamma is Hari Dhamma, abode of Hari. And above them all is located Krishna's own realm called Goloka. And that is the Lord that Lord Brahma is adoring. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda. Primeval means origin, who has allotted their respective authorities to the rulers of those graded realms. Okay, if you want more, you can read text 26 and 56 also. Okay, so basically we have covered this, how to become detached from the material world. we have to understand that material world is a reflection of spiritual world, and we have to detach ourselves from the material world and ultimately surrender to Krishna and go back to the spiritual world. Okay, so this is the process of transmigration. Okay, this is how, let me just skip to this one. All right, 15.8. Okay, I'm sure you remember this picture I've shown before. Okay, so just like how the air carries aromas, we are bringing our memories and our impressions to the next life. So based on what we think, what we behave as, what are the activities that we conduct in our life, it will be resulting in our next life. Okay, this is a revision sloka. It's very easy for understanding. Okay, you should be able to understand this. Okay, so that way, let's say you enjoy something in particular, some senses or objects in particular, next life you will get a life, that a body that will have a dominant use of that sense. All right, the living entity, thus taking another gross body, obtains a certain type of ear, eye, tongue, nose, and sense of touch, which are grouped about the mind. He thus enjoys a particular set of sense objects. Like say we like to eat meat, eat like that. And then the Lord will give, oh, okay, you like to eat meat, right? Okay, let me give you a natural long nails, natural long fangs. So you don't have to use knife and everything to eat. So you can enjoy eating. So like that. So probably next birth will get the body of a tiger or lion. Okay, so if you love to sleep, then probably we're born as a bear, so we can sleep for months. Okay, if you don't like to wear dress and go out, so you can take a birth as a tree, then you can stand there under the hot sun and a cold season, no dress. So this is how it works. Okay, okay, in other words, if the living entity adulterates his consciousness with the qualities of cat and dog, that means if he is having a life like cats and dogs, in his next life he gets a cat or dog body and enjoy it. So like I said, if you want, if you have the tendency of animal like things to enjoy, so probably we'll get animal body in next life. So the facility will be given to us based on our desires. So it's very interesting, and we have to be very careful about what we desire. Okay, this is entirely the process of transmigration. Okay, so just a quick recap. Goal should be to leave material world and return to spiritual world. This will be our goal. All living entities are eternally part and parcel of Krishna, no doubt. We came from Krishna. But in this process, we are struggling from body to body in search of pleasure. Okay, so that's about transmigration. Okay, here Krishna is talking about the Purushottama yoga, the yoga of the Supreme Person. So here Krishna will talk about how he is the origin, how he is the maintainer. Okay, he's going to explain in 3 verses how he's maintaining the cosmic. Okay, Darshita, can you read for us?
She left. It's okay.
Okay, Mataji, please read.
The splendor of the sun, which dissipates the darkness of this whole world, comes from me. And the splendor of the moon and the splendor of the fire are also from me. I enter into each planet, and by my energy they stay in orbit. I become the moon and thereby supply the juice of life to all vegetables. Okay,
so as sun, it never goes out of energy. Okay, no blackouts. Okay, so it is, we see the sun, it giving light and heat every day. Okay, for many millions of years, it never goes out. Okay, it never had power problem, and the heat of the sun is coming from Krishna. Okay, where he says here, right, comes from me. Okay, so can you imagine if the sun is so powerful, how Krishna is more powerful than that? The source is coming from Krishna. Okay, the fire is important to give us the heat and warmth for us to cook, eat, to create energy, to provide us the source of electricity. So all these also come from Krishna. And the splendor of the moon and the splendor of fire also from me. Krishna says, sun is the splendor of the sun from him, the moon is from him, the fire is from him. Okay, so that's about how he is maintaining the cosmic in order. All right, and then what about the planet? They are so heavy, how they can float in the air so perfectly distant, no clashing or whatsoever? Because Krishna enters into each planet, and with his energy they stay in orbit. Okay, and how the vegetables are so juicy and delicious? Krishna say he is the provider of the juice. Okay, so this is how he's maintaining things outside, things near to us, and now he's going to tell how he maintains things inside us. All right, and someone? Who else? Okay, Mother.
I am the fire of digestion in the bodies of all living entities. I join with the air of life, outgoing and incoming, to digest the 4 kinds of foodstuff.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Mataji. So here Krishna is talking about how he is playing his role inside us. Krishna is so kind. He's already providing fire outside. He's also providing fire inside. So that is the fire of digestion. And that fire comes from Krishna. So if you don't have good digestion, we won't be able to eat or digest our food properly. So Krishna provides the fire of digestion so we can have a good appetite. Okay. So even for eating, Krishna is helping us. Okay, so the next is Krishna say he is the air. He's a special air of life, helping us to digest 4 kinds of food stuff. Okay, which is licked, chewed, swallowed, and sucked. So the Lord is so kind that he's arranging many different ways to help us to survive, to live. Okay, so we can see from here how Krishna, previously he said he's the seed giving father, right? So he's not only done with seed giving and he said, okay, this next is all your karmas, please enjoy or suffer and come back to me. He never say like that. He's still taking so much care about us. He's still providing us. Okay, it's just like the father, right? He's providing so many things for us. Okay, so here Krishna is saying how he's maintaining everything as Brahman, his energy. Okay, now he's going to talk about his Paramatma feature. Okay. Yeah, next, anybody?
Okay, I'll read Mataji.
Okay, Mataji.
Okay, I'm seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas.
Yes, okay. So here Krishna is talking about how he is maintaining us from inside our heart. How? What does he do? He gives us remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. Okay, for some people, he provides knowledge in terms of he let them remember their past lives, let them remember certain special ability, right? So that's where you can see some people advance in some things or pick up some skills very fast because he allows them to remember. Okay, and then sometimes he gives knowledge in a sense where he is enabling us to understand the nature of the material world very fast. Okay, so that's why you all are here sitting in the class, because Krishna gives you the ability to understand, okay, there is some importance for us to know about the nature of material world, so we need to get out of this. Okay, and sometimes he tells from the heart, don't do this, don't do that. So from the heart, he's giving us directions. Okay, so that is the first part of this sloka. So the second part, he's talking about the Vedas. Remember the slide I asked about? What about the Vedas? Okay, what is the purpose of the Vedas? Why are we learning the Vedas? Krishna says he's the compiler of the Vedas, Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Veda. Okay, so why we say compiler of Veda? Why Krishna says he's the compiler of Veda? Because he is the Vyasadev. Okay, he's the incarnation of Krishna. Vedanta means summary of Vedas, right? The end of knowledge is to know Krishna. Veda means knowledge, Anta means end. So the end, the word end comes from Anta. Okay, right? Forgetfulness, right? Forgetfulness also Krishna gives so that people want to enjoy. They can forget what has happened in the past so they can enjoy. Okay, this is also due to their karmic reactions. So here generally Krishna, to conclude, right? Krishna is explaining how as Paramatma he helps to, he is maintaining everything in this material world. Okay, if you try to remember him, if you are dedicated, then Krishna will give us the remembrance. Okay, if you are not interested, then Krishna will take away that and he'll give us forgetfulness. And then Krishna says he is the essence of all the Vedas. Okay, you can read the entire Vedas and come to this conclusion, or you can read Bhagavad Gita and come to the same conclusion. So it's all about how much time we have. Okay, right? So this is the recap on Krishna as our maintainer. We should be attracted to Krishna by knowing his position as our maintainer on the both the cosmic and personal levels. Okay, remember the fire, the moon, the juice of the vegetables, maintaining the planets on its orbit. So this is how the knowledge is useful for us to remember things, okay, about Krishna, about everything around us, about this material world. This is Jnana Yoga. This is the knowledge. He is the compiler of Vedanta and knower of the Vedas. Okay. All right. 18. Yashoda Priya Mataji.
Because I am transcendental, beyond both the fallible and the infallible, and because I am the greatest, I am celebrated both in the world and in the Vedas as the supreme person.
Okay, so here Krishna is saying there are two kinds of living entities. One is fallible and one is infallible. Fallible means people who tendency to make mistakes. Fall means boleh jatuh, right? So fallible means you can make mistake. Infallible means you cannot make mistake, you will not make mistake. So people who are on the material world, they are fallible or infallible?
Fallible.
Yes, fallible. So who are infallible? People on
Spiritual world.
Yes, correct. So material world, spiritual world, fallible and infallible. Okay, but above this, there is Krishna. Okay. He says he is transcendental. And because he is infallible, is above the fallible and infallible, he is celebrated in the world and in the Vedas as that supreme person. He is declaring about himself. This is the yoga of the supreme person. Nowhere in any scriptures we have God coming and saying, I am God. Usually the devotees or the birds or the followers glorify the Lord, right? So that kind of information we can find. But the special feature of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam is that Krishna declares that he, the God himself, come and say that I am the supreme person. You come to me and you will not go back to the material world. You do this, you come to me. It's very clear and very solid and concrete that Krishna is declaring that and establishing his position, and nobody can challenge that. Not only that, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, all the devas also glorify him that way. Okay, remember in chapter 11, Arjuna will say, I know that so many great personalities have glorified you, but you yourself is telling me now. So that's why you see, this picture should remind us what is happening, what has happened in chapter 11. Arjuna will say that all the great personalities have told this before, and now I'm seeing this. And now you are telling me, and I'm seeing this, and I'm hearing this. Okay, so Krishna says, I am celebrated both in the world and in the Vedas as that supreme person. Krishna is saying, I'm not only the boss here, I'm also the boss there and everywhere. Okay. All right, so this is the summary of the Vedas and the Vedanta. Living entities in material world are fallible. Living entities in spiritual world are infallible. However, living entities in harmony with the Lord's desire are infallible. That means the devotees, all right? Krishna says, beyond both, this is the transcendental supreme person, the super soul, who maintains the three worlds. Okay, coming towards the end, yeah. So just hang on a bit more. Can have somebody to read this. 15:19. What is the result of us knowing Krishna? Without a doubt, that is important, without a doubt. Come on, somebody.
Whoever knows me as Supreme Personality of Godhead without doubting is the knower of everything. He therefore engages himself in a full devotional service to me, O son of Bharata.
All right, thank you, Mataji. So, by hook or crook, but whatever challenge may come, whatever obstacles are there, a devotee will always engage in devotional service. Okay, then only he can enter the eternal position. Okay, there is a story here, Alarnath's story. Everybody knows this story. The Lord will, try to eat, and then the Brahmana will go and catch his hand. Anybody? Because we don't have time, so I really need to skip this story. Okay, so you can read on the PDF. Okay, so Krishna ends the chapter 15 with this verse. We have somebody to read.
I read, Mataji.
Okay, Mataji.
This is the most confidential part of the Vedic scriptures, O sinless one, and it is closed now by me. Whoever understands this will become wise, and his endeavors will know perfection.
Okay. So, so here what I can break down here is that this is the most confidential part of the Vedas, whereby one who is sinless only can engage in devotional service. Then we all will be like so disappointed, right? Oh my God, I've done so much of sins. Can't I engage in devotional service? Yes. So the devotional service mentioned here is actually Raganuga Bhakti. So we have Vaidhi Bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti. Vaidhi Bhakti or sadhana bhakti is what we are doing now. We are waking up early in the morning, chanting, cooking and offering and eating the prasadam and hearing, chanting, remembering. So all these are activities that we are doing based on direction of our teachers or spiritual master. Okay, we are doing under guidance. So these are called regulated bhakti principles. So you can write that down, right? This is Vaidhi Bhakti or Sadhana Bhakti. We are performing devotional service based on some guidelines or some directions. But pure devotees, they don't have somebody to tell them, okay, wake up, okay, do your chanting. Have you done your chanting? Have you done your reading? Come for the class. They don't do that. That is called Raganuga Bhakti, spontaneous love. That is the real devotional service that we need to do when we go back to Goloka. Right now, what we are doing now is practice. We are practicing. And this devotional service will burn our karmas and sins, so that when we go to the Goloka or even on this material planet, we can come to the sinless stage to perform the pure devotional service. Okay, remember the level 1, 24 hours thinking of Krishna. So to attain that, then we have to be sinless. So here, he's referring, Krishna is referring to Arjuna, oh sinless one. He's referring to Arjuna as sinless one. Okay, and it is disclosed now by me. And he said, whoever understands this will come wise, and his endeavors will know perfection. So this is the conclusion of the yoga of the Supreme Person. Everyone must take to Krishna consciousness and devotion service to become intelligent and purified. All right. So here we already covered about material world, how to cut the strongly rooted tree with what?
With sharpen with act and sharpen with knowledge.
Okay. So how are we going to cut our attachment, our tree?
By transcendental knowledge.
By detachment.
Detachment.
How do we sharpen the detachment? Knowledge. Yeah. Pani Mataji. So I forgot. I want to show you all the picture. Where did I put that? Down. Got that. Okay, y'all can see my screen, right? Can y'all see the screen?
No, nothing.
Oh, cannot. How do I share the advanced portion of screen? Basic. Now?
Yeah.
Okay. See this picture. It's HD. Okay, so the entire creation is resting on Ananda Sage, the hood of the Ananda Sage. Okay, so this big, if you see the big egg here, this is one universe. Okay, so the Lord enters. So the Karna, the Kasai Vishnu is here. Okay, he is lying down on the coastal ocean, and from his body, what are coming out?
Lotus flower.
No.
Oh, all the universe.
Yes, so these are all the universes. So we are going to zoom into one universe here. And then once the Lord created the universe, the Krishna enters into each of the universe as Garbhodaka Kasai Vishnu. And then you see here, this is where Mother Lakshmi serve his lotus feet. And then look at this green stem here. This is Brahma.
Oh, there are 14 world, everything.
So the lowest is Patala. Pitraloka and
Yeah.
hellish planet are here. Okay, so you go up. Rasatala, Mahatala, Talatala, Sutala, Vitala, Atala. Then we are here. So these are all lower planetary system. You can see it's written on the right. Okay, so we are here. So like we are lost in the mall, we will know where we are here on this floor. So this is Earth planet. So Earth planet, if you can see here, it's like right in the middle. Okay, Earth planet. So here we have both subtle and gross. This one all gross. Gross means you can see. Okay, here is a mix. All right, and then you go up. You have Bhuvar Loka. This is Rakshasas and ghosts are here, and then above them is the heavenly planets. Not heaven, not only one planet. Heavenly planets. Here, all the devas will have their own planet. Okay, so this is realm of 33 million demigods and demons. And then Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka. And the highest planet in the material world is Satyaloka, the planet of Lord Brahma. Okay, so, right, so this is a higher planet. Here you don't see their bodies, they are subtle. Okay, this is subtle. So this is also called Devi Dham.
Jada, Jaka.
Is under the supervision of Durga Devi. Okay. All right. So Shirada Kasai Vishnu here near the border of the universe.
Oh,
so we have Lord Shiva here. And that is just one universe. And like that, we have so many universes here. So remember the Lord Brahma story? Ours is the smallest universe. So can you imagine that's bigger, much, much bigger universes? Okay, so we go higher. Now we go higher. Outside of the universe, we have the Karana ocean, and there is Jyoti from the Lord. So this is Brahmanda. So above that, you see here Brahma Jyoti, Krishna's effulgence. So above that, there is Kailash, Sadasiva. This is Yogi. I forgot there's another name, Mahashiva, I think. There's another name for the Lord. This is Sadasiva in Kailash. So above the Lord Shiva, Aishwarya Dhamma. This is where the Lord resides in full opulences. Okay, all the richness will be there. This is all the Vaikuntha planets are here. Lakshmi have her own planets, and all the incarnation will have their planet. Varaha, Vamana, and we have Nrsimha, Kalki, Buddha. Buddha is not the Siddhartha Buddha, there's another Buddha. Kurma. So like this, all the incarnation will have their own planet. And then you go higher. You will enter Madhurya Dhamma. This is predominated by opulence. You see this word here. Right? Aishwarya means opulence. Predominated by opulence. Okay. So if you go further, this is Madhurya Dhamma, predominated by sweetness.
Madhurya Dhamma.
Yeah. So above the Vaikuntha Loka is Ayodhya Dham. This is where Brahma and Mother Sita all reside here in this planet. And then we go Dwaraka Dhamma, and then we enter Madhura Dhamma, and this is Golaka Vrindavan where Krishna and Radharani here. This is the ultimate or highest abode. Okay, so let's see what is the Bhagavad Gita verse here. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. Okay, here Krishna is talking to Lord Brahma. Brahma, it is I, the personality of Godhead, who was existing before the creation, when there was nothing but myself. Nor was there the material nature, the cause of this creation. That which you see now is also I, the personality of Godhead, and after annihilation, what remains will also be I, the personality of Godhead. So Krishna is saying, before the creation started by Lord Brahma, I was existing, and after everything ends, I will still exist. All right, so beautiful. Krishna is declaring here his Jai Lord Krishna ki Jai. Okay, so that's all. Such a beautiful poster. That's my favorite poster.
Very confusing.
Ah, is it? Okay, Mataji.